It's 94.7 Blair Radio, our nonprofit news brought to us by RVR Bank. And today we bring in a special guest, Mike Rooks with the Gateway Development Corporation. And, well, do we say also the Washington County Chamber at this point? There's an agreement going on. That's really what we wanted to talk about.
Of course.
And kind of learn from your perspective to be able to let people know what's happening, the impacts and everything like that. But thank you again for coming in today.
My pleasure, Kelly. So yeah, that first thing, it would just be Mike Rooks with Gateway Development at this time. So yes, your question about what's going on, Gateway Development and the Washington County Chamber have entered into a shared service agreement. So what that means, and I was like, what's going on? It's right now, it's a yearly agreement where Gateway is going to help manage the chamber. We are going to bring on some employees to actually focus on chamber activities. But there are still two separate boards. There are both finances, all the books are separate. Everyone controls their own things. It's just we're managing those employees and helping guide them to be successful in the future. Because when you in the past, if you've looked at Gateway Development, which is an economic development corporation, and you look at the chamber, they should be hand in hand.
Yeah, there's a symbiotic relationship there. They're two different directions or points of view, right?
Yes and no. I mean, it's a circle. I mean, it depends where you're looking at on there. And that's something where we have always worked in the gray area. I mean, right when I started, it was you must go headhunt, find industry, bring industry in, because that's what economic developers do. You know, and in maybe bigger communities, and Blair's not small by any means, or Washington County's not, but it's still like in, 50,000, 60,000. Yeah. You have to be very pinpointed on what you're doing. Is it retail? Is it manufacturing? Is it logistics? Is it call centers? Is it data centers? But here it's all of the above. And to go along with that, Washington County isn't big enough to have a lot of support. So we dabble in housing. We dabble, this year, placemaking, the art alley, what's been going on there. Those are things that we haven't done in the past because I wasn't told to, but now after looking at it, you have to do those things in order to help land the bigger companies.
Well, it's part of the economic development side is having the health of a community, which is you want to attract people in, so they have to have something to do. It's
the quality of life. It's the warm fuzzy stuff of economic development, which most people haven't even thought of, or that's all they think of. Yeah. And that's where the chamber comes in, I think. The chamber should be doing some of those warm fuzzy things, getting people involved, not just their 240-ish members, but getting the community. Like, hey, come in. This is what we're doing. We want to do downtown redevelopment. We're going to have these great networking conferences, and we don't want just businesses. We want community members to come in and start learning about that, because if we don't have the community engagement and just the business, that doesn't work.
Right.
And that's a big thing that the chamber has ebbed and flowed over the past, I would say, 4 or 5 years. Yeah. We all know this. But with us coming in there, we can help control that, guide it. And I really think we're going to be a lot more efficient, and we're going to see a lot bigger and greater things happening because of this.
All right. Pause 1 second there. I was just thinking, I was like, make sure that this... Oh.
Did I break it already?
No,
this is the bad side, I guess. Crap.
I was just thinking, it's like, did I hit that because I don't want the camera to turn off? And it's like, because I was trying to catch it before it did that.
No, that's fine.
So, all right. So jump in, edit. So as you're looking at all of those different aspects, though, so with the Gateway Development, but the chamber, so kind of one thing that people would look at is Gateway Development brings businesses in, chamber supports them into the future. Right. It's a kind of a handoff thing. So kind of the way, that's the tradition. But there is, like you're saying, so much overflow between the two now.
Yes. So with Gateway, we have roughly, we have 56 investors. And I would say out of those 56 investors, 46 of them are chamber members as well.
Right.
Now there's different, those are way different investment levels.
Yeah.
I mean, because we are a smaller organization. But no, there is a lot of overlap in there. We typically work with the bigger companies. The chamber works with those smaller ones. But those smaller ones need support. And
right.
I wish I had more employees behind me that could
right.
just do small business development. But that's something that, as you said, the chamber should be focused, and not should be, but that's something
that's
that
the concept.
Yeah, it is.
It's because they're actually a 501c6.
C6. Yep.
In order to be able to, that's part of a political. They can actually go and lobby on the behalf of the small business or the business
Correct.
area, right?
Yep.
And so that's kind of the difference set aside, because you're two different entities regarding the 501c3 for the development, 501c6.
Correct.
So that is a benefit. Is that a benefit for everybody?
It definitely is. And again, I don't think in the last 2 or 3 years, or even longer since I've been here, there hasn't been a lot of political action behind the chamber. I think that's something that we need to start, shouting from the rooftops and saying, hey, this is what our local businesses need. I mean, because it's a lot different than what the Omaha Chamber needs, because those businesses are a lot different than what we are. We're still considered rural Nebraska, even though we're part of the Omaha Metro, which still boggles my mind how both of those go together.
Well, I just also think on different topics, like we've had minimum wage. How does that impact a small community compared to a big community?
Yep.
Much different scenarios between the two.
Oh yeah.
Or legislating time off. Things like that.
Time off.
So the businesses need to make sure they have a voice, not just the other side.
Of course.
Not saying the other side is the other side, but you know what I'm saying.
We're not getting political law. No.
But basically, you having that say, okay, yes, this is a good idea, or no, let's rethink this but having that voice to be able to stand up and say that.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a key thing. And something else that I think the chamber, that our goal will be in the future is, we talked about small business development, but entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Getting those entrepreneurs out here in Washington County, which we know we have, there's a ton of them, but helping them secure brick and mortar, or helping them secure whatever they're looking for, that takes just as much time as working with the Dollar General Distribution Center, bringing them in.
Right.
And no one gets that. It's like, but you have to do both. And that's where I think the chamber can come in and help out as well.
Right. And so with that, it's kind of one of those things that how is the structure looking at this point in time? You're kind of overall looking at learning both sides?
Yes. Yeah. So my goal is to learn all the things, that I already know mostly about Gateway, but I need to learn all the things about the chamber, because if we're hiring someone on to manage that role, and that position is actually called Manager of Community and Chamber Engagement, I need to be a good manager to them, and I need to know what's happening, and see if there's cracks or whatever, so we can develop and get new opportunities there. But the chamber board still has overall say in what happens, but still just the operational effectiveness, efficiencies. That's where I think that's my goal, on the back end, behind the scenes. But then that person will be first and foremost going out there, shaking hands, kissing babies, and doing the dirty work.
Yeah.
Because I can't do everything.
So right now you're looking to hire somebody to do the dirty work, by the way.
Yeah. And this is a great thing. So we posted the position roughly 10 days ago.
Yeah.
Already got 20 applications.
That's amazing.
And they are phenomenal applicants. We probably can't afford some of them. Right. But anyway, I'm excited. I've got 6 phone interviews set up so far.
Yeah.
So our goal is to get in-person interviews going probably in the first week of July. See how it goes, and hopefully get this person onboarded by August 1st. Of course, we have to, they have to give notice and all that. So probably in that time frame. get them trained in the first 2 weeks in August, and then, let them off the leash and see what happens.
Yeah.
That's the main goal, because we want that. We want that person out there and being involved and engaged in the community.
And so with that, you talk about investors in Gateway Development,
Sorry, yeah.
which the people who have that bought into the corporation, and then on the other side we have the chamber, and those are members. You have investors and members. How is that something you're looking at, and how to put that together for maximum benefit of everybody? Not to put you on the spot or anything, but and there's a lot of decisions to be made. But
right, and again, the shared service is the agreement that we have signed, both parties, is just, hey, Mike's just kind of running both shows, and making sure it's managing and going efficiently.
And I guess you just want to clarify for those like 46 combined, they're like, well, we're a part of both. Right. How can we be more efficient on both of that?
Still working on that. I mean, I'm going to be honest. And we are still working on it, because some of those, they want to be engaged in both, and they understand that Gateway Development we're bringing in the tax dollars. We're going after medium to large businesses, and that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Right.
And then on the chamber side, and don't take this the wrong way, but it's the pancakes, the parades, it's the warm fuzzy stuff.
The gateway to the West States, but it's the celebration of the community. It's the celebration of the businesses.
Yes, and that's and they understand they need to do both of those. So, is there going to be efficiencies as far as membership goes? Not right away, because again, we're both still our own entities.
Okay.
Now, could that change in the future? Yes, I mean, and that's what's ever changing. Right now, again, 10, 15 days in, we're still kind of drinking from the fire hose there a little bit. But I think after we get a year under our belt.
And is that what this initial agreement is for, is like a year?
Yes, it is.
And just to kind of see how it works, make a plan to say, if we do anything further, this is how we can actually logically, intelligently, educatedly move forward.
Yeah, it definitely is. And, it's that agreement's also set up in a way that, hey, if we like how this is, we don't have to change anything. And we can switch it from a year to, whatever length we want at that time.
Right.
Or it's maybe after 2 years we do this, like, no, we really want to really get together.
We we've learned, and now we know something better or not.
Yeah, but again, we can't judge what's going to happen yet. We don't have those people in place yet. So we just got to wait and see how it goes. I mean, but the key thing is we have to be excited about the community and make sure that the business community knows that both Gateway and the Chamber are still there for them, and they need to come in if they want, come in, talk, and we can help them out. That's the big thing.
And I know that Gateway has been doing a great job bringing in businesses. Dollar General Distribution Center, helping out with the new hotel that came in, as well as smaller businesses and helping them, like the meat market growing and things like
Prairie
that.
Star Botanicals.
Prairie Star Botanicals, the pizza place coming in.
Yes, Tasty Pizza.
Yeah, Tasty
so
Pizza.
Good.
So you're doing a great job there.
Thank you.
So people see it without necessarily knowing what's behind it. Now, the chamber, like you say, it's supposed to be really visible.
Yes.
And engaged. And so historically, that has been something really, everybody has known, you look at service organizations, you drive into a town back in the 70s, it's like you see chamber, Rotary, all these things. That has not been as strong. Is that kind of the goal, is to bring that vibrant feel back for the chamber?
In my mind, yes. It definitely is, because I want people to say, hey, stop in the chamber. Talk to Tim, talk to Mike. I mean, whoever. Talk to them and see what's going on, because maybe they have, ideas, or, hey, we're in town for 2 days. What should we be doing? Well, here's some great restaurants to go to. The Cottonwood has this concert going on tonight. Have you seen River Wilds? Let me give you all this. Let's give you all the information. But that's what we're supposed to be. That's what the chamber is supposed to be doing. Or
we're buying a house in town. How do we get established?
Yeah. Or who do we talk to?
Yeah.
And what do we need to do? Those are all things that we should be doing. Not saying they haven't been done in the past, but
we can do better.
We can do a lot better.
And so
Yes.
that's the goal, is to do better overall for Blair, for Washington
For
County.
Washington County, yes.
And the surrounding areas, because it's going to impact everybody in the 20-mile range or 30-mile range or however long.
Yes. In my mind, I mean, Gateway impacts more than that even.
Yeah.
So when we bring Dollar General in, we had contractors from all over, from Council Bluffs, from Nebraska City. They all came up here and they benefited from that. Right away when they opened up, over 60% were living in Omaha. That comes back to our housing issue, and we can talk about that later.
That's another conversation.
Yeah, but those are all things. And I think one thing the chamber really needs to start doing is, how do we pull outside of Washington County, bring people in here?
Right.
Hey, come up here for Washington County Fair. Come up here for Gateway to the West. Tannenbaum's going on. Come up and look at the Art Alley. And while you're up here, go to Red Brick. Go to Just Mary's. Go to Tasty. Do those things. That's another thing that the chamber has always been good with promoting, and this is in general, promoting promoting in Washington County.
Right.
Great. Keep doing that. But how do we pull from outside the county? Yeah. And that's something that we started developing with Red Thread Marketing. That project should be up and running here in the next 2 weeks. Okay. New website, some new videos. The first big thing we will be promoting is Washington County Fair.
Yeah. So that's coming up soon.
It is.
We're almost to July 1st. That means we are less than a month away.
It's exciting. Yeah. I mean, and we wanted to get it out for the Art Alley and Gateway to the West, but I didn't want to rush it. You don't want to put something out there that's half done, and then we have too many complainers. I would rather get it. I'm not going to say it's going to be perfect, but a lot further than it was. Right. So, but that marketing piece, that's something that is going to be big. And some people might say, hey, we're not seeing it here in Washington County. You're not supposed to.
Right.
We're supposed to get 250,000 impressions from outside of Washington County. So then they come inside Washington County.
Right.
That's a big piece.
It's two different animals. You have the promotion within, and you have the promotion to bring in.
Yep. But that's something the chamber, that new person, they are going to be in charge of. They are going to be the champion of that. Yeah. And they should be.
Yeah. And so again, then also being better visual within the community. Yeah. So again, I think we've learned a little bit. There's so much we can actually talk about, but we don't want to get too deep in, because obviously there's still a lot to do and a lot to learn and a lot to grow. So if somebody has questions, what's the best way for them to ask?
Stop into the chamber. That's the best way. Come on in. I'm there every day.
Yeah.
Now I might be busy. I apologize, but talk to Cheryl at the front desk, and we can set up an appointment. That's not a big deal at all. But I would be happy to talk to anyone about what's going on with Gateway Development or with the chamber. If it's with the chamber, I might pull in some of the board members and executive. Just again, still drinking from that fire hose. I don't want to say the wrong thing there, but there's so much there, and the board members are all passionate about it on both sides. So yeah, let's just stop in, say hi. I want people to stop into that chamber every day, every hour. I want to see people coming in and out, just having conversations, grabbing business cards, grabbing brochures. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. All right. Well, we will follow up with this.
Yes,
as we continue to grow. So again, keep tuned. Thank you, Mike, for coming in.
Kelly, thank you so much.
You're welcome anytime to be able to come in and talk about what's happening in our area. So again, that's our local guest segments brought to us by RVR Bank.